In this demo, we're going to take a look at the MaxQ laser checks for Acumatica. If you're already aware of how to print checks in Acumatica, you will notice that there's very little difference between the normal printing checks and the printing with laser checks. First step that we're going to take is go into the payment method screen, which is under banking. Go into the check payment type. Go into the settings for use in AP tab. So one of the first things to note is the report is AP XL0106. We actually have several different reports, ranging from a report that's all checks, to the check being on top, the check being on the bottom, and the check being in the middle. Any one of these can be used whenever printing checks. It's simply a matter of preference at that point. The second piece that has been added is the print duplicate checks. So whenever you're printing a check, we will print an additional document in a separate tab that will have a copy of each of these checks, that will have the watermark of copy on the back of every single check. This is useful for if you want to make sure that you have a copy for your own records. This is not something that is set in stone. You can always remove it. You can always uncheck this, and the duplicate checks will not print if you do not desire it. And the third piece that has been added is the export settings, which is correlated to our new positive pay piece. So what you can do is, after the creation of the positive pay file, you can have the files themselves sent to an SFTP site and set the URL, username, and password to whichever the bank provides you with. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to go into the cash account screen. So go under banking once again, go into cash accounts, and then we're going to go into 10200. So some of the things to note here is under the bank information, we have the routing number, on us field, an ABA number field. These are some of the base pieces that are needed whenever printing a check. As well, if you notice, there are letters at the beginning and ending of the routing number, as well as the on us field. This is correlated to the microfont that we do provide with the product itself to allow for the proper character to be used when printing onto the check. And the ABA number is the number that would appear at the top right of the check, which is typically a fractional number. We also allow for a void message, so not valid after 90 days for the sample that we have here. And we also have the export scenario. This is indicative to the positive pay piece. So the export scenario is whichever one is going to be the format to send to your bank. So this can be changed per cash account. And then these are other miscellaneous fields that are needed for the positive pay piece. The next step is the signature 1. So we allow for the addition of multiple signatures to the cash account. The first one is the signature 1. We allow for a password for more secure check printing. As well, we allow for the toggling of the print signature line. So if you simply want the signature to appear without the line underneath, then you can uncheck this. But if you want the line to always appear no matter what, you can have it checked. We also have the option to always print signature, which indicates that no matter what the amount of the check is, the signature will print. If this is unchecked, then we will default to the manual signatures required on checks over 150. So you can set this to be whichever you want. So if you want it to be the signature to only print on checks under $1,000, then we would put $1,000 here, and then that would only print for checks under $1,000. And then after, if it's over $1,000, then the signature will not print, but the line will print. And then we go to the signature 2 tab. Similar to signature 1, but there's a few nuances. The bank requires 2 signatures, so this needs to be checked in order for the signature to print. As well, a bank limit, which is indicating that if the check is over 150, then signature 2 is required, but if it is under 150, then it will not print. And as well, a password and a valid message. So the valid message is typically for if you want to indicate that if this check is over the 150 limit, then it is required to have 2 signatures. As well, on the signature 3 tab, it is very similar to signature 2 with all the same settings. So the next step is we're going to go and print the check. So go to payables, go into process payments / print checks, select our one check, and then hit process. And the first tab should be the normal check, and the second one should be the copy. So while that's loading, I'm going to go to the first. So we'll see two stubs at the top detailing the bill, and then at the bottom we have our two signatures, the amount, and the microline. So for check number 92, the routing number, and then the account number, and then the ABA number at the top right. And then on our second tab we have the copy, voiding out both signatures, as well as the copy watermark on the back. So once we're done, we'll go back into release payments and hit process. And close. Now the second step to this is the positive pay feature. So the positive pay feature will create a positive pay file every day for all checks that were printed that day for that particular cash account. So the first step is go into more items, MaxQ wager checks, and then positive pay batch creation. We'll select the payment method and the cash count, and this can be set up as an automation schedule, as you can see here. We'll do the document date of today and hit process all. And once that is completed, we'll go back into the MaxQ wager checks, go into positive pay check batch, and go to our last document, and we'll see our $160 payment for the payment ref 92 is here. And at the top right, under files, we'll see our positive pay file, and here's the information listed. If you have any additional questions or issues, please feel free to contact MaxQ. Thank you. Have a good day.